Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Mariandrea, and this is a bit of an awkward video. I am doing this video to catch up on comments, and I thought, let me just record myself reading the comments that I haven't seen for over a month. So I had to take a hiatus, as most of you know, who watch my, those of you who watch my channel know. Due to grief, and I just felt so overwhelmed by the grief that it was just hard to engage, and especially because being a part of this community makes me want to be here, and it was just I had to take a break, and I'm sorry I hadn't responded to comments, but now I want to try to make amends in the way of sharing them and showing you my reaction to comments. I'm a little nervous. I always get nervous when I'm catching up on comments, and because I am always a little bit nervous. I've been doing this for a couple of years on and off, and I still get nervous every time I'm going to read the comments. So consider this a little bit of behind the scenes. I've been catching up on that behind the scenes tag that I think is brilliant. So consider this the behind the scenes to that question about comments and responding to comments. So just watch me catch up with y'all. Okay. I'm really nervous, so bear with me. Okay, it only lets me sort by most relevant or newest, so I'm gonna just stick with the newest. I haven't responded. I'm just gonna scroll all the way down. I don't know how many I have. Looks like I have quite a bit. So, okay. The first one that I haven't responded to is 2 months ago, and it's from Sean Holt, and he wrote, I need to give Wuthering Heights a retry at some point. I thought it would be a boring Jane Austen-esque romance. Austen, I think, being the worst, boringest writer in the history of humanity. And anyway, I remember reading parts of Wuthering Heights and thinking, whoa, wait, did I read that right? The book, I recall, was quite dark. It wasn't a light-hearted romance about finding the richest, handsomest, most eligible bachelor. I was simply not prepared for it. It was not what I was expecting. Jane Eyre, the author, went a complete different way than I would have. I'd almost like to rewrite Jane Eyre that way. I think it should be written. My main issue with it was the protagonist was far too assertive at the start. I would have made the story about the female protagonist developing the ability to assert herself and take charge of her life. I forget offhand what the other Bronte sister wrote. I do too, Sean. And this was in response to my tag, The March on the Moors, a Bronte novels tag. You know, on Wuthering Heights, I am on the third reread of Wuthering Heights right now. I read it once in high school, a second time in my 30s, and then I started it again on the Serial app. And I kind of been going through it on and off, so I haven't stuck with it daily, so it's taken me some time. I do remember that when I was in high school, I did feel like Wuthering Heights sounded super boring, and I get that feeling of like, but I didn't find it boring in high school. I found it really difficult to understand, and I think I've mentioned this before with Wuthering Heights particularly. I don't think high school was the right time for me to read that book. And even when I read it in my 30s, I think I was still reading it wanting to find like romance or see Jane Austen. I love Jane Austen, so I don't think Jane Austen is boring. I actually really like the humor in Jane Austen novels. Well, and some more than others. I think some novels have more of that like banter and humor that I really, really enjoy in Victorian novels. But I think when I go into an Austen novel, I'm prepared to have it be a little bit light. And with the Brontes, they feel a little like, well, they feel very different. So I've heard Melinda from A Web of Stories say that Wuthering Heights should be read like a horror novel, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that Wuthering Heights works better for me writing it without the expectations of having any fluff or anybody to root for. Like you go into a novel, and that's what I mean, like not necessarily romance, but you go into a novel wanting to root for a character, and in Wuthering Heights, it's really difficult to find someone to root for. And it's hard to sit with a book and not like the characters. Yeah, it does give you that feeling of, whoa, what did I read that right? Absolutely. And I think that's why I found it difficult in high school, because when I was in high school reading Wuthering Heights, I'd have to read and reread and kind of have that reaction to it. Like, what did I just read? And I do recall it is a dark novel. It's definitely not lighthearted, 100%. Yeah. I get the wanting to feel like you want the bachelor or like the male protagonist to be somebody that you want to swoon for, and you're not. You're angry with him. With like the male characters are not great. Well, no one really is anyway in the novel. I was simply not prepared for it. Yeah, neither was I when I was in high school. I didn't know what to expect exactly. You said exactly. You read my mind. It was not what I was expecting. I think I didn't know how to like adjust my expectations in high school, and I think I'm learning that now with my third reading of Wuthering Heights. With Jane Eyre, the author went a completely different way than I would have. That's interesting. I think I love it when a book challenges you to think like, how would I write this, or what would I like to read differently, or how much fun would it be to rewrite this. I really enjoy it when authors do the like the what's it called, when they adapt, a retelling. That's the word. When they do retellings, like I really enjoy Sonali Dev's retelling of the Jane Austen novels. That's one that just comes to mind. I haven't read, or have I? I haven't read a retelling of Jane Eyre. No, I have. I read the retelling of Jane Eyre. It's called Jane Steele. I read that one. I'd have to put the author in on the screen somewhere. But Jane Steele, I read, I enjoyed. Oftentimes retellings, it's like difficult to compare because you wanna appreciate them in their own merit. So in its own merit, I really enjoyed Jane Steele. So I'm curious. I think that if you, Sean, were right here, right now, talking to me over coffee or tea, I'm drinking some tea. I'd love to hear more about what you would write differently. My main issue with it was the protagonist, that she was far too assertive at the start. I don't think she was enough assertive, Jane Eyre. I don't know. I didn't feel her that way. But I should reread. I don't want to say should. I would like to reread Jane Eyre. You would have made the story about the female protagonist developing the ability to assert herself and take charge of her life. Yes. I would have. That's what you want to see, right? Jane Eyre is that kind of character that you want her to be more assertive and that you want her to take charge, and you want to root for her. I also have a hard time keeping track of who wrote what, so I totally get it. I want to mention Emily Bronte. For Emily Bronte, I really enjoy her poetry. I have her collection of poetry, not in front of me, but I tend to like the poetry better, I think. Maybe that's a hot take. I'm not sure. I'm replying to your comment, Sean. That's what I'm doing now. I'm saying I think your thoughts are fascinating. I would love to hear all about rewrite Jane Eyre. I'm writing that I love a great retelling. Thank you for your comment. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to reply. Okay, so I checked that one off. Next, Cat, my friend, my sister, Cat at Curious Cat, 2 months ago, in response to the March on the Moors, a Bronte novels tag video, wrote, I really need to pick up a book from Claudia Pineiro at some point. I must have mentioned Claudia Pineiro in that tag video. I'm not sure at what point I did, but yes. If you are wanting to pick up a book from Claudia Pineiro at some point, I would say start with All Yours or Tuya, depending on, I know, Kat, I think you read both English and Spanish, so depending on what language you want to read in, All Yours or Tuya, I'd say start with that one. That one will really suck you in, and it'll be a fun, propulsive read. So I'm saying yes, I hope you do. And I think Tuya, All Yours is a great starting point for Claudia. I don't have my keyboard, so I can't put my accent, but Kat and I have been chatting outside during this time that I've been away. She's been checking up on me. So thank you, Kat, for the love, for reaching out on Instagram. And Kat even sent me a birthday present for my birthday, and I can't wait to show it off in a book haul. But I am so grateful for the friendship and the love. Thank you so much. And then Melinda at a Web of Stories responded to the March on the Moors of Bronte novels tag 2 months ago. Gosh, I feel so embarrassed to say that 2 months ago. I'm so sorry. I think I'm going to be apologizing. Half of this video is going to be apologies. Melinda wrote, thank you for doing the tag. The M&M Club did Caramelo a year or so ago. Oh, it's the Marginalized and Margaritas book club that she has that I am a part of, that book club. I joined just last year. So I guess before I joined the group, they did a Caramelo a year or so ago, and I'm the only one in the group who liked it. You know what? I'm not surprised. It's a hard book to love, or even like. I think it feels like summer. I think I mentioned this in the video. It feels like summer. It's hard. It's a hard book. For some reason, it reminded me of my childhood. Don't ask why. Okay, I won't. However, it was the first book by Sandra Cisneros that I had read, and I liked Martita much more. Yes, Martita. Martita, I remember you. I love Martita, I remember you much more too. I wonder if you've read The House on Mango Street, Melinda. But I'm not surprised that you were the only one. The M&M Book Club who enjoyed Caramelo. It's really difficult. It's really, I don't want to say it's difficult. It's summer heat in book form. And I agree that Martita is it's not a better book. I was gonna say it's a better book, but I agree that Martita is an easier book to love. And Caramelo really is just so long, and that's why it's super long, and it feels like summer when you're a kid. And I don't know if Melinda, if that's what you're talking about, and I'm not going to ask questions about that, but for me, I remember being a child in the summer. There's no school, you are bored out of your mind, and it feels like summer takes forever, and the days are so hot and long because it's day. It's like the sun, the way the summer hours go. It's bright all day, and then nights are shorter, days are longer, and yeah, it just feels brutal when you're bored at home with nothing to do in the summer. I, as a kid, lived with my grandparents for some time. My mom would go off to work, and my brother and I would be home with my grandparents. And I remember, although there was a lot of fun memories being at my grandparents' house, it was also like every day was the same in this. Well, no, not exactly the same, but every day was the same in the sense of like you had a get up time, chore time, eat time, siesta time, outdoor time, garden time, play time, snack time, sandia time. Anyway, it was just like, it was really, really fun. It was really great, but it just felt like there was just, we didn't have a car. So my grandfather would take us out, but like to like the grocery store or the park. But we didn't have a lot of money either, so we couldn't really go to camps or anything like that. So it was just kind of like let the boredom let you find like drive you to your next adventure. And it was like running around looking for ants and following like trails to like find where the ants were, and building obstacle courses and climbing trees and picking mulberries. What else? It was a lot of fun, but it was just kind of reacting to the boredom constantly. I agree that Martita is an easier book to love. Have you read The House on Mango Street. It's been a while since I've read The House on Mango Street. I probably should. And again, here I go. Shoot, I don't want to say should. I would like to reread The House on Mango Street myself, but I'm just wondering if Melinda has read it and if what she thought about it. So there you go, Melinda. I'm so sorry. Next, Mimi. It's Mimi Duong, my friend Mimi from the channel It's Mimi Duong, about a month ago, responded to the March on the Moors, the Bronte novels tag and said, no worries about doing the tags, I totally feel you and I'm slowly catching it up. Your life's been busy, don't stress too much about it. Crate training is definitely difficult. Love all the answers. Oh my gosh, crate training. My dog. It was really challenging. Thank you, Mimi. I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you, Mimi. Okay. So, Dr. Cranky Pants reads, I cannot wait to catch up on your videos, Dr. Cranky Pants. About a month ago, he responded to the booktuber name tag 2025, and he wrote a very kind comment, I think. It says, this was so good. I feel like I just sat down for coffee and left with 12 new books and at least 3 existential reading crises. Thursday Night Widows is now jumping the queue thanks to how you described it. Political horror is such the perfect lens, and I love how you tied it to broader themes across Latin America. Yeah, Thursday Night Widows I really liked. I think I gave the warning that I don't think it's for everybody, but I really liked it. Did feel like political horror, and I really liked that it had this creepy like icky kind of feeling about felt like the I don't watch this, but what's that reality show? The Housewives, like the Crazy Housewives. I don't really watch TV, but had some of those very rich people problems in like very dysfunctional homes. I love how you tied it to the broader themes across Latin America. Also, I love temporary. Yes, I love temporary. Just the right amount of surrealism and cleverness. She's got a new book out. Yes, Terror Story that I've yet to read, but it's on my list. We should buddy read it. And the way you talked about made me want to listen in like the world's nosiest coffee shop eavesdropper. Absolutely adored this. Thank you for the Rex and the energy. Thank you so much, Dr. Cranky Pants. Thank you so much. Sorry for the late response. I am so glad to finally find someone who loves temporary. Want a buddy to read Terrace Story? Let me know. Would love that. Okay. Ellen from Ellen Read Book Club. Okay, here we go. These are the ones that I was nervous about because I didn't want to cry on camera. So Ellen from Ellen Read Book Club a month ago responded to my post about my dog passing away, Miss Moo. She wrote, I'm so sorry for your loss. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Everything else can wait. As always, Ellen, you are the most kind and comforting person on BookTube. I really appreciate you, and I cannot wait to catch up on your content. One thing about Ellen is she has a brilliant channel. Her videos are so good, and her humor is so fun. And I really love sitting with Ellen. Um, I love watching Ellen's videos when I'm having a meal. Life, the last, well, life this year has been crazy. Like everything, everything has been crazy. I feel like my life in 2024, it's like it disappeared in 2025, brought on so many challenges personally, professionally, that I, believe it or not, have not had a chance to really like sit the way I used to and like sip a tea, have some cookies, and watch YouTube. Like I used to have time to just sit, and a lot of the times there's a few channels that I would do that with. Like Ellen is one, Cat is another, Mimi, Mimi sometimes, and Farah at Bookstalgic. Those are some of the channels that I would like just sit and let my brain get immersed in their content. Other of you, so Ellen, you're one of those friends that I like to imagine I'm sitting in front of with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just like having a conversation with you. Um, some other of my booktube friends, they're with me while I'm driving, or if I'm like getting ready to start my day or getting ready to wind down my day, I'm maybe in the kitchen washing dishes and watching videos. So like Angelia and Pat are usually with me while I'm washing dishes. Like those are the content creators. Debs, Rainer Reeds. I'm usually like watching their channels while I'm washing dishes. So they're the ones that are getting me through the TD. Like I hate washing dishes, but Pat and Angelia and Debs get me through it. But Ellen, you're the kind of friend on BookTube that I like to sit and imagine that I'm having a coffee with you when I'm watching your videos. And I'm sorry that my year has been so erratic in that regard, but I just want to say that I appreciate you. Your true self a month ago also responded to that post about Miss Moo passing, and they said, "My heart is breaking for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad she found a wonderful home with you. I have been through this twice recently. I know how much it hurts. Love and light to you, Miss Moo, and your family." Thank you so much. It's been so hard. I don't have emojis, so I'm just putting hearts. Um, it I'm finally getting to the point where I'm probably going to join a grief support group. I have found a lot of comfort on Reddit. There's a couple of communities on Reddit. One specifically is for pet loss, and I find myself spending a lot of time in that community, just with other people who feel the loss of a pet, and it's been good to have that community just validate my grief. But I think I'm ready for a pet support group, pet grief support group, pet loss support group. Gina, the library mouse Gina said again to that post, "Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear this. It's so hard losing a doggy family member." It really is, Gina. It was my first time. Miss Moo was our first dog, and it was both of our first time um, losing her, and we were just so in love with her. She would like I miss coming home to her, and she'd always be waiting for me. That week, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but that week that she passed, I'd been in Midland because my brother had gotten ill and was in the hospital, and my husband would send me photos of Miss Moo at the window just waiting for me to come home, like all day, every day. And then I finally came home. Every time I would come home, she was just the happiest dog. She would get super excited and she would jump on me and she would zoom me all over the place. And um, I miss that. Sometimes, like as we're unwinding the day after dinner time, if my husband and I like hugged each other just to like, you know, support one another, she would come and like want to be a part of our group huddle, our group hug, and we would like bring her in, and she was our child. She was our little one. We truly truly miss her so much. Okay, these are going to be the hardest comments to get through, I hope. Uh, it's Mimi Duong, Mimi, again, responding to that post, said, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's always tough losing a pet. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Mimi. I had no idea it was going to be this hard. I had no idea I was going to hurt so much. I lost my dad and I lost grandparents and I lost friends, and this was just completely different than anything else I'd ever been through. I wasn't prepared for this so soon. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Angelia from the channel Read and Reread, again responding to Miss Moo, said, Mariandrea, I'm so sorry about Miss Moo. That is such a hard thing, especially when it's unexpected. Take care of yourself and go at pace, whatever pace feels right. Thank you, Angelia. I am trying. I'm trying to uh, not rush through the grief. I'm trying to take care. I've been sick a lot, and I think it's just the stress of it all. Work has been crazy, um, crazy busy. And I work in hospice, so I deal a lot with grief. Then the grief of Miss Moo and the family stuff that I've been going through, and stressors, like life stressors in general. I think all of that's made it difficult. Um, I would have liked to do a week in review video, but again, it's just been kind of crazy, and I've been sick. So I know I said in my last week in review video that my low was I'd caught a bug, no big deal, and then that bug turned into like kind of a recurring thing, and it was just not fun at all. I'm still kind of getting over it, or getting through it. I'm trying my best. Sui from Sui's Book Banter also responding to that post about Miss Moo. Hugs to you. Thank you, Sui. Okay, and then Chatty at Chatty the Match Hatter also wrote, sending you lots of love. Thank you, Chatty. Okay. Next, Sean, as Sean Holt. Broken heart emoji, crying emoji. Thank you, Sean. Curious cat, curious cat. Also in response to that, Miss Moo post, I'm so sorry for your loss, hermana. Sending lots of love your way. Take care and take your time. We'll be there for you when you're ready. Again, Kat, thank you so much. Thank you so much for checking in on me through the grief. Thank you so much for just being there to listen and just let me share my grief with you. It's been nice to know that there are people there who really care and are, their support is really comforting, and you're part of that. So thank you so much for being there. Lots of love to you. Him from middle of the book March a month ago also responded to the post about Miss Moon. She wrote, I'm so sorry, Mariandrea. I know how much that hurts. Thank you, Kim. Kim and my friends who did the Pineiro project group, they have been there for me as well through it all. They were like the first people I sent pictures to when I first adopted Miss Moo, and they were the first people I reached out to when she passed, and they've been such a wonderful group of friends, and I'm so grateful for y'all. But thanks, Kim, for the comment. Ariane, again, Ariane's a friend from the Pineiro project. She said, I'm so terribly sorry. I'm sending so much love your way. Thank you so much, Ariane. Y'all have been such great friends to me. Gina from at Gina's Tenure Books. Gina's the best. She's such a kind person. She's so wonderful. She's also one of those people that I like to sit and watch her videos when I'm like having a tea or a coffee, because she's so cozy and comforting, and I just feel like I'm like she's in front of me talking about her favorite cozy reads. So I always feel like I need to be in my coziest state of mind when I watch her videos, and I have a lot of catching up to do with Gina's channel. Thank you, Gina. Priscilla from At Evening Reader also responded to that post and said, I'm so sorry to hear about your pup. Our pets are part of our family, and losing one is never easy. Absolutely. It's been so hard. Thank you for your support. So, Marilyn. Oh, hey, Miss Marilyn. I need to catch up on her videos too. Marilyn Maya Mendoza also responded and said, Hola, amiga. I'm so sorry for the loss of your fur baby. I know how hard it is to lose a member of the family. My family lost 4 in the span of 2 years, and it was devastating. Sending you healing prayers and vibes from Hawaii. Bendiciones. I know Marilyn lost her little princesa not too long ago, and That was before I got Miss Moo, and if I feel like there was life before Miss Moo and there's life after Miss Moo. In my life before Miss Moo, I had no clue what a pet did in a family, in a home. Life after Miss Moo has just changed my understanding of family and how much our pets impact our home and how much they become such a part of our hearts and our homes in just ways I would have never imagined. So I think now I'm a lot more tender-hearted than I was before in understanding of the love that we have for fur babies. Also, I love, Marilyn, that you and I can kind of chat back and forth in the comments in Spanglish. I don't get that experience with many people on BookTube, but I really feel like that's a special connection we have where we just Spanglish, speak Spanglish to one another. It's fun. Pat at Book Chat with Pat also wrote a comment about that post, sending you love, my friend. Thank you, Pat. Pat's also been someone that has been checking up on me during this time that I've been away. She's a wonderful friend, and I'm so grateful for her friendship. Catherine at Raspberry Reads also commented there and said, so sorry for your loss. And thank you. Oh, Sean, I'm just saying this. So Sean noticed my absence 3 weeks ago. Sent a comment back on my last video. So the last video I had posted was the March on the Moors of Bronte novels tag. And so he went back, he commented on that tag, and then he came back 3 weeks ago and said, hope you're doing okay. It's been a while since your last video. Thank you so much for your friendship and for checking in on me. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to join back into the BookTube community, and it's going to take me a while to become as active as I was before, but hopefully I'll find a new normal or build up that that routine. One thing about Miss Moo was she didn't like me being on my phone. So when I was home, she made her presence known and she wanted my attention and she needed my attention. And she was I always thought it was cute because if somebody would call me on the phone and I'd be talking, she'd start barking at me like, get off the phone now. I need you to pay attention to me. We need to play. And so I always just kind of laughed when she would bark at me and then as soon as I would hang up, she was like, okay, let's play. So she was demanding of my attention and it made it hard to record videos. I think one of the last videos I made was me trying to read a short story during the week of Weird. And it was one of those videos that I wrote, like just trying something new. What am I reading Wednesday, or like what's up Wednesday kind of a video. And so I was just reading and I was recording myself just reading and trying to have like a cozy reading evening. And I had to turn down the actual sound of the video, because all the time that she would see me through her gate, she'd bark, bark, and bark. And in that video, you see me like look up and like I'm talking to her, like I'll be right there. But she really, and it was hard to record videos with her present. Like I'd always try to find time to like steal a moment away to record a video, because she wanted to be like here. So she would have been like, pay attention to me. I love that about her, but it also kind of just made my routine very different than before she came around. So it's gonna take me a while to get back to like a new normal. Okay, so then here we go. 2 weeks ago, I posted a week in review video on 5/4/25 on grief, an immigrant's reckoning, and birthday. So Brian at Bookish Texan responded to that, and it said, he said, "Great to see you. I'm sorry that things in the US have become so increasingly hostile. I hope that you find that you can stay when the time comes, but I also hope that you find the place where you are appreciated and can live free of the BS that living here brings. You enrich BookTube, you enrich your community, you enrich this country." It's very kind, Brian. You're very kind. I wish that there were a lot of Brians in the world. I think that if there were more Brians in the world, there would be more peace in the world. You're a very special person, and your voice matters so much, Brian. And your voice means so much to me. When I watch Brian's videos, particularly those that have a political bent to them, I'm always tearing up, because I appreciate how much your voice means, and sometimes I feel like in the world that we live in, your voice, not that it should or shouldn't, but sometimes I feel like some people's voices matter more than others, and some people's voices have more power than others. And I don't think that that should be the case, but I always find hope when I hear Brian talk about his perspectives, because it just gives me hope that maybe his voice will be heard, and maybe his voice will ripple out and make things different for people who are struggling with the climate. So thank you, Brian. I hope that I eventually find the strength in my voice. And honestly, I think most of us who come as immigrants to any country, whether it be this country or another first world nation like the UK, I think a lot of immigrants, we just show up because we're looking for a way to help ourselves and help our families, So a lot of the times we're looking for a place where we can have peace and safety and opportunity, and be it educational or economic. So we're not trying to terrorize or to be considered terrorists or criminals. We're just trying we're just trying to make a living. And we're just trying to belong, you know? Um, okay. Okay, let me see where I left off. My mouse pad is a bit finicky. Okay, so then Melinda also responded to that weekend review video, and she wrote, I'm so glad to see you back. I think the Sniffing Garden is just a wonderful memorial for Miss Moo. Let's see pictures. Oh, yeah, I should post pictures. I have Bite by Bite on my TBR. The author's first book, World of Wonders, was my first 5-star read of the year. Oh, Melinda, I think you're going to be in for a treat with Bite by Bite. Yes, I will post pictures. I'm not sure if I'll post pictures on YouTube or on Instagram. Or I'll send them to you on Boxer. I'll figure it out. I'll post pictures. The Sniffing Garden is a wonderful grief / healing project. I love that we have a memorial for her, our backyard, because the backyard was her kingdom. She spent a lot of time indoors because she was more of an indoor dog, but man, that backyard, she really loved it so much. I think you will be in for a treat with Bite by Bite. And then I have Melinda at Above Stories. She then wrote, press comment too soon. I'm so sorry that you don't feel welcome here, although I completely understand it. It is an intentional move by the administration, which is just disgusting. I noticed a lot of PSA ads that you were talking about when I was visiting my dad in Arizona. I don't recall seeing anything here, but I rarely watch TV, and then most of what I do watch is on streaming, but Oregon wants to self-deport to Canada, so yeah, and it's not necessarily like it's not like I have been personally targeted. It's more so that the community is being targeted. And so when I was sitting at my mom's house for Easter, on Easter Sunday, and we have the TV on, and this commercial comes on that tells you that you or the people you love have been or are criminals, and that you don't belong here. I was not expecting to see that kind of propaganda, that strong and that aggressive and that racist. So I was feeling targeted as a whole. You know that book by Trevor Noah, Born a Crime? I think that 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 notion of being born a crime, or that notion of having someone see you as a criminal, is something that is really like jarring and like what because I look at pictures of myself at 6 years old as a little girl being brought to the United States with her family, immigrating. And at that point in time, I think if that had happened now, I think the government would see us as criminals. Um, so it just like boggles my mind how people can be labeled and treated so harshly for something like seeking opportunity, whether it be healthcare, education, or economic. I don't watch TV either. I was surprised. I really was surprised. Propaganda. They left me feeling startled, triggered, flight, fight, freeze response. Um, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, how we respond to stress, the flight, fight, or freeze response. And I really feel like my go-to right now is flight. Um, Intrinsically, like I just want to go into like flee. Let me get the H out of here. It's really hard to like have that be the response, the emotional like autonomic nervous system response that you are gravitating towards, but feeling like you can't. Angelia from the channel Read and Reread also responded to that video and said, "It's so good to see you back. I love the idea of sniffing Guardian Memorial and I'd love to see a picture. I don't think there is any polite way to talk about the national dumpster fire that is currently blazing. I can understand why you're considering moving in the future. I wish things were different. It's so distressing. Vegan ice cream cake sounds fantastic." I will try to post a photo of the garden soon. And there really isn't. And I can understand why you're considering moving in the future. Yeah. I wish things were different too, because I really love it here. I really love South Texas. I really love my community. Um, I don't want to leave my community. A vegan ice cream cake sounds fantastic. So the cake, the vegan ice cream cake, I haven't made. I started it, but I haven't churned it. I haven't churned the ice cream and I haven't layered it. Um, One thing or another, this weekend I've been sick. So because I've been sick, I take meds and then I get drowsy and then I've been feeling kind of low energy. So I haven't been able to juggle it all. Um, but I'm still planning on doing it. I already have the mixture ready to churn. The cake, bake it. I hope that made sense. I have so many thoughts and I just don't know if I made any sense at all. My friend Kat at Curious Cat also responded to that weekend review video and said, "So glad to have you back. Have been thinking of you. Also glad that you've been taking care of yourself and taking the time that you needed away. Sending lots of love and virtual hugs your way, Edwina." Kat, I totally feel your love. Thank you. Uh, mm, Mimi, I think this is my last one. Yeah. Mimi from It's Mimi Tong also responded to that and said, "Welcome back. Of course, take all the time you need. Of course, lots of love." Okay, so those are all the comments. Um, I haven't even gone to the mentions, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. I will worry about the mentions another day. Um, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was kind of fun. I hope this was okay to do a little behind the scenes booktube. Maybe I'm gonna just do that tag and like snippets. So take of like if I was doing the behind the scenes booktube tag, this would be my answer to the question about addressing comments. Thank you so much for watching and we'll talk again soon. Hasta la próxima.